So the most rewarding experience actually comes weekly, if not daily. The reward that I get, and that is when we go out into the community, when we visit with the older adults in our area. It is absolutely amazing and wonderful to see their smile, have them give me a hug, and talk to me. They sometimes share, they kind of go, "Hey, remember how I was talking to you about this?" And then they kind of tell me the rest of the story, or we chat about their family. And it is so great to hear about their day or hear about something that they had happen with their family, and even to help them with any kind of concerns that they may have. It is what I look forward to all of the time.
Nothing But a Number promises engaging content tailored just for you. Join us as we dive deep into discussions on topics that matter to our communities.
Hello, welcome to another edition of our Nothing But a Number podcast. My name is Wallace White, Associate State Director, AARP Georgia, of Advocacy and Rural Outreach. So honored today to have a good friend of mine, a good colleague in aging here in the state of Georgia. Her name is Betsy Teasley, and she is the Health and Wellness Program Manager. Betsy, welcome to the Nothing But a Number podcast.
Thank you for having me, Wallace. It's wonderful to be here with you.
I tell you, that is so true. So, Betsy, tell our listening audience a little bit about yourself.
So, you have given me such a wonderful introduction, but just to let everyone know, I work at the Area Agency on Aging underneath the CSRA Regional Commission, and I have lived in Augusta the majority of my life, so I know the area and surrounding communities well, and I think that that is the perfect fit for the field that I'm working in.
Yes. And speaking of the field that we both are working in when it comes to aging, it's very personal to both of us. And I know that, we have a personal connection being a part of the CSRA Regional Commission years ago when, many moons for me now. But, I remember when I was there, you were there as well, doing some phenomenal work in the health and wellness spectrum, as well as other things when it talks about evidence-based programs. And I know there are a number of different things that we'll talk about today, but what was it about your past, or how did aging become your passion, in other words?
So I have such an interesting response to this question that you're giving me. And I guess you can kind of say I sort of stumbled into the field of aging, but what a wonderful career this has been. So I was actually looking to make a change from my previous job. And I wanted to make this change because I really wanted to work in the field that I earned my degree in. And I was browsing through the job openings one day, and I actually responded to a one-line job advertisement in the Augusta Chronicle.
Really?
And so after a few months, I went through the interview process, right? And then after a few months, I was offered a job here at the agency, and I have been here now going on 10 years. Can you believe it?
Has it been 10 years
So
already? Wow,
yes,
amazing.
10 going
That's so
on 10
amazing.
years, heading towards 10 years. And so working in the aging field actually allowed me to combine my passion. My passion was actually teaching.
Hmm.
And so it allowed me to combine that passion that I have along with serving others by leading educational workshops for the older adults. I never expected to be teaching older adults. I actually wanted to be teaching younger children and middle schoolers. But things happen in life, right? And so I didn't go down that path, but here I am in the educational field anyway, just with older adults. And I truly love it. It is my favorite thing. And I now can't imagine not teaching older adults.
That is so awesome, Betsy. When you think about it, my parents always told me when I learned something to teach it to others. And when you think about your aspirations of wanting to become a teacher to the young, now you're teaching the older adults. It's such a phenomenal thing to be able to do. And as you said, it's truly a passion, and it shows in your work. Especially in all the presentations and the health fairs and the different summits we've been to and conferences we've been a part of over the years, your passion always shows up when it comes to the seniors. I think recently, a few months back in Waynesboro, Georgia, as you were doing I think was it a bingo size class, I believe,
Yes, sir.
which is an evidence-based program. For those of us who may not know what bingo size is and other evidence-based programs, can you tell us just a little bit about what that is and some other things as well?
Sure. So we have offerings of evidence based programs here at the Area Agency on Aging. And these evidence based programs are actually created by a number of different organizations. Some of them come out of hospitals, created by hospitals. Some of them come out of smaller organizations, and some of them actually come out of universities. And these evidence based programs, by getting their certification of evidence based, they go through rigorous testing, and they also go through different sets of criteria or credentialing in order to receive that official evidence based designation. And what they are, how they are provided, is that we are able to do the same class in the same way across all different kinds of settings, and everyone comes out with the same results. So that is why they're deemed evidence based programs. And the evidence based programs that we get to select from are the ones that are recognized by the Administration on Community Living. And this particular designation from the ACL, is what we call it, is how those programs get filtered down into the local agencies and then get dispersed out to the community. So we do a wide variety of evidence based programs, everything from disease education to fall prevention.
Awesome. It's interesting because for those in the listening audience, as they're listening to evidence-based programs, why are they so important? When you think about there's so many caregivers out there that are looking for resources. Are there any evidence-based programs that deal with caregiving or any other issues that people be interested in learning more about?
Yes, so we do have a couple of different programs that are for caregivers. And one particular one that comes to mind is something that you are familiar with, but we would love for the audience to know about, and that is Powerful Tools for Caregivers.
Yes.
And it actually is a phenomenal program. I do have to say, because caregivers are able to attend this particular program and they receive information on dealing with stress, handling burnout, learning how to take care of themselves, and then they also get to talk with their other caregiver counterparts to know that they're not alone when it comes to the caregiving process, because a lot of caregivers experience the same feelings and emotions, and they think that they're the only ones dealing with those feelings and emotions. So it's wonderful to see the caregivers come together in a class and create new friendships and also share in their journey of caregiving.
It's interesting when you said the Powerful Tools for Caregivers class. I do remember it being like a 6 week program that you could spend about maybe an hour or two once a week to really join others in their journey of caregiving. And what was so interesting for me to see during that time frame was the fact that on that first class, everyone is so standoffish and they're worried about their loved one because they're not used to leaving their loved one with someone else. But by the time the 6 weeks, goes by, they become best friends and they receive so many great resources about, hey, can you give me some tips of how to take better care of mom if she doesn't want to listen to me at the moment, if she's dealing with Alzheimer's or dementia, or what are some tips about this if dad's not eating and I want him to eat. So it's so great to be able to share that type of information and know that they're not the only one to receive that type of information.
You are so right. And thank you so much for bringing up the fact that it is a 6 week program, but yet it's just one day out of the week for just about an hour and a half that we get together and discuss some main topics. And then they also get to share a little bit of information or any of their concerns. But the best thing about the program is that we are focusing on the caregiver and really making sure that they are taken care of. So it's thank you so much for mentioning that and how much they share, and they really become a tight knit group and enjoy their time together.
it's such a blessing to be able to be that resource to people, really be that bridge for them to receive that information they're needing. I know that during your 10 years, and it's so hard to believe that it's been 10 years already that you've been with the CSR Regional Commission Area Agency on Aging. What would you say is the most rewarding as well as the most challenging thing that you had to go through during your time there so far?
Yes. So I'd have to say, I'm going to start off with the most challenging. And I think that the most challenging thing that I have experienced um, at the Regional Commission is learning to adapt and change regarding initiatives to meet federal, state, and local goals. That has been a big thing, a big challenge. Like just as a reference, when we talk about new legislation or policy changes that come down from the federal government, we have to learn how to mold and bend to make sure that we are complying with that new legislation, complying with the policy changes, and still meeting our goals. So I'd say that's been a challenging thing, and working with this particular agency is meeting three levels of goals and making sure we abide by all of that.
Definitely, that's wonderful.
And then I'd say you had asked me about the most rewarding.
Yes.
Okay, so the most rewarding experience actually comes weekly, if not daily. The reward that I get, and that is when we go out into the community, when we visit with the older adults in our area. It is absolutely amazing and wonderful to see their smile, have them give me a hug, and talk to me. They sometimes share, they kind of go, "Hey, remember how I was talking to you about this?" And then they kind of tell me the rest of the story, or we chat about their family. And it is so great to hear about their day or hear about something that they had happen with their family, and even to help them with any kind of concerns that they may have. It is what I look forward to all of the time. Just getting out there and seeing their face and getting those hugs and being part of their day is the most rewarding thing.
That is such a blessing to be able to say, Betsy. And I know I definitely echo that same sentiment, particularly when you're dealing with our older adult community. A lot of times when we're visiting those older adults, we're the first person that they may have seen all day that that they can receive a hug from, or just a friendly smile. And it's just for me, it's just a blessing to be able to smile in the type of world that we live in. So to be able to bring up a smile, or or a hug for those that we care for is just a blessing. So again, I definitely echo that same sentiment when you said that. Um,
Yes, you and I know that feeling, don't we?
we do. It's interesting. It's almost like going to. I relate it to like going to a family reunion. Some people that you haven't seen for a while, and people are wearing name tags that "Hello, my name is." But it's so amazing being able to see the camaraderie and the relationship that builds time and time again when we're seeing those individuals on a weekly, um, annual or a semi-annual basis. So it's just a blessing being able to impact people in such a positive way.
Yes, sir.
I do have another question for you. And it seems like time just flies by when you're having fun every time. But with the Erase on Aging, I know that let me first say congratulations for the CSR Regional Commission first receiving the age-friendly regional designation. We're trying to make sure that Georgia is a age-friendly state. And I know with the new recognition that we have, not only does Augusta-Richmond County receives that recognition, but all the other 14 counties that encompasses the CSRA area. So, with that type of relationship that we have with Areas on Aging with our age-friendly communities, what are what are your thoughts in reference to really helping bridge the gap as far as really with programs and services for the areas of aging? Because as you know, for so many times we can talk about the areas of aging to so many people, but when we go to do a presentation, there may be a new audience member that never heard this. So, what are your thoughts in reference to making how do we make the areas of aging relevant to the community?
That is an excellent question. And I think that in having the designation for Age Friendly as a region is such a wonderful opportunity for us to help bring age-friendly initiatives to the front for all of those counties and representatives of those counties. We are so excited to be able to work with all of them for the domains of livability, and I believe there are 8
Yes.
domains of livability. And I am looking forward to not only working with the counties, but also having the opportunity to work with our planning department in order to see how what they are doing is impacting those domains of livability. And we want to make sure that we keep the Area Agency on Aging relevant because there are so many different areas that we cover to serve our community. We cover disability resources. We also cover legislative initiatives and legislators. We also touch on different things such as in-home services and meals. So I think that it is going to be a wonderful opportunity to work together with multiple sets of community partners and also work with the internal part of the regional commission for the planning department to see how we can advance our entire region in moving forward with our action plan for our designation as age-friendly region, as the age-friendly region.
Betsy Teasley, Health and Wellness Program Manager at the CSR Regional Commission, Areas on Aging. I thank you so much for your time today on being, bringing another impactful edition of our Nothing But a Number podcast. Before we close, is there any type of contact information that you can leave the listening audience for those who may be interested in aging services?
Yes, they are more than welcome to give us a call. We can help them if they have any questions. And the number for our Aging and Disability Resource Connection is 706-210-2018.
Thank you so much, Ms. Betsy. This is Wallace White, Associate State Director of Advocacy and Rural Outreach for AARP Georgia, bringing you another edition of our Nothing But a Number podcast.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of Nothing But a Number. Thank you so much for joining us and diving into the conversations that shape our communities. We hope you found today's discussion enlightening and inspiring. Remember, new episodes drop every Wednesday at 12 noon on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. To stay up to date with all our latest episodes and to continue exploring the topics that matter most to you, be sure to subscribe and follow Nothing But a Number on your preferred podcast platform. Your engagement and support means the world to us. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider sharing it with friends and family who might also find value in our content. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected, and we'll meet you right here next Wednesday. Take care.